Welcome to House Money Podcast on NFL Week 11 show. I'm Easy E and I'm the host. Joining me today, T-Bone.
K-Zone!
And Chalkboard.
T-Bone!
And Chalkboard.
You cut off my T-Bone.
Chalkboard.
T-Bone seemed to develop a Cajun accent over Week 10.
It was kind of subtle, but I picked up on it.
It was better earlier. Now I'm so wasted, I can't remember what it sounded like earlier. But
It's probably because you're Cajun.
K-Zone!
It's probably because you're Cajun in the studio.
T-Bone!
All right, fellas. Well, Week 10, we went 2-2 last week. We missed 3-1 by a hook. Arizona decided to take a knee instead of kick that extra point. You know.
Yeah, I like to call it the 2-2 with the asterisk because, I mean, that was... I actually looked up the rule because I was so incensed, and, you know, they didn't go for it because had the guy blocked it, had the team blocked it, ran it back, it was worth 2. So I guess... analytics-wise, maybe it was the way to do, but it was not the payday that we were looking for. So.
I agree, but, you know, if there's an argument on the other side is maybe we didn't necessarily deserve to be there either. It's kind of a fluke play.
Yeah, but we should, they shouldn't have gave up a touchdown either with, a minute to go.
They gave it up to Diggs.
Yeah.
But, I
mean, damn. They should tighten up there. I don't know.
Something about, what was the one you had a couple shows back? If walnuts and buttholes or something? It was Cajun.
Maybe it was walnuts and coconuts. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I think it was coconuts, not buttholes.
Well, it had some sort of T-bone twist to it. So
no bunghole. No, it was.
So you know,
that's what they all say at first.
Yeah, it sounds like another guy. No.
What the hell? that took a wrong turn. So 2-2 last week. You know, again, it's not that bad. It is what it is.
So we like to call around these parts not a losing week.
Not a losing week. But, hey, I did over the weekend, I took the opportunity to take a look at our preseason over-under picks, and I tell you what, y'all, we're crushing it. We got the over of Arizona 7.5. I say that's pretty strong.
Oh, yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah, and we got over New Orleans 10.5.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll get there.
Yeah, I feel good with that one. And we had 2 unders. Under San Francisco, 10.5.
Yeah, that ain't happy.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I was going to say, with the schedule they still got remaining and where they're sitting, I felt good about that.
Yeah, and under New England, 9.5.
Yeah, they're playing better, but yeah. Out of all those, the one we got to worry about is probably the Saints with Breeze with the broken ribs. So.
Interesting. If this was the who do you like portion of this, that would be an excellent segue there, Mr. T-Bone.
Yeah, so.
I have a feeling we'll talk about that game, and some of us may talk about it strictly in Cajun.
Oh, God, that would be – I was going to say that would be awesome.
Think about the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that's the case. So, obviously, it's Thursday night. We're a night late this week. It's 7-0 Seattle already in this Thursday night game. Life hit House Money Podcast again. It is what it is. But, fellas, we can still do Sunday, Monday, and the Who You Like portion if y'all ready. Y'all ready to rock?
Yes, sir.
All right, here's the damn
Hey,
cat.
I didn't know you had a cat.
Oh, boy. Don't let it knock us off our whatever.
Our kilter. Can you shut that, please, Chalk? Thank you. All right. Sunday night, Kansas City at Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders plus 6.5. Totals 56.5. Kansas City's 8-1 straight up, 6-3 against the spread, fresh off their bye week. We last seen a 2-point win over Carolina in Week 9. Kansas City's the number 1 team in the NFL. They're ranked in the top 3 in 4 of 5 offensive categories. The defense isn't bad, with 3 rankings in the top 10 categories. The only loss on the season was to this Las Vegas Raider team in Week 5. You know, I love Andy Reid off a bye.
Was the stat I saw, was it in 18 years he's been in the season, he's like 15-3?
Oh, it's sick, dude.
It's a ridiculous thing. I didn't mean to cut off the setup. I just kind of jumped in. I thought it was going to be tossed over this way anyway.
No, honestly, they're healthy and ready to roll. I don't know. The Chiefs are set to just put up a ton of points this weekend.
Well, he's still got to talk about the Raiders. He hadn't even talked about the Raiders yet.
Hold on, Chalk. I'll get it to you. Las Vegas, 6-3 straight up. 6-3 against the spread. Beat Denver at home, 37-12. Honestly, that game required little effort. The Raiders are 3-0 since getting crushed by Tampa Bay with wins over Denver, the Los Angeles Chargers, and Cleveland. So Las Vegas isn't bad. You know, they can run the ball. two different running backs this past weekend had two touchdowns apiece. You know, Derek Carr, he isn't great, but he doesn't really have to be, I think, in this offense. But still, I don't know, Chalk. I think the Raiders are in trouble here. Sunday night, Las Vegas plus 6.5. Who do you like?
I think the stat I was talking about with Andy, it's even more so on a primetime stage, which is going to be in Vegas, like you say, Sunday night game. And before we get into like the statistics and everything, what about the Raiders winning at Arrowhead and then doing victory laps in the buses around the stadium just to piss Andy off a little bit more?
Yeah.
Do you think that was shown at all in the Kansas City locker room this past weekend?
They said that some of the Kansas City reporters said that he's mentioned it multiple times this week. Because they brought it up to Gruden, and he was like, it's just, I think the driver took a wrong turn. I don't know what was going on.
I mean,
all right, the game's sitting, so we're going to play it at 6.5, right? I think I've seen that it's over 7.5, 8 right now.
Kansas City.
But under a touchdown, if that's what we're going for.
Dude, so I hate to look at these live lines during the show. You're getting it at 6.5. That's what's on the sheet. That was literally at 5:15.
It's got to be 8.
In 3.5 hours. I made this at 5:15. In 3.5 hours, it's 8.
I got on the shirt. I got the swag. I love the Raiders. If they were to win this game, they would sweep the division this year. They'd go 6-0 in the division. I just think. But they're not going to sweep the division, and they're not going to win this game.
They look damn good Sunday. I'll tell you, I watched some Raiders.
They have
Sunday.
some strengths that actually play to this because they're going to try to pound. They're going to do what you have to do to beat the Chiefs. They're going to try to pound the ball, pick up first downs. Chiefs aren't that really good against the run.
Which spread are we talking about, though? We're talking about the
6.5.
We're not getting the 8.
No.
So,
give me 8, I'd take 8.
So, no, it's 6.5.
There's a joke there, but I'll leave that alone.
I might take KC minus 6.5, but I'll take the Raiders with 8.
No, it's not. But it's 6.5. But hold on, let me give you real quick. Hold on. The Raiders, 7th in rushing yards in the league. 139. Take limit possessions, right? That's how you win a game.
Right.
Limit possessions.
You're the best. The best defense is keeping that offense off, and like you say, they're not just like wasting time. They pick up chunk yards. I don't think they're going to get killed, and I think they're gonna hang around in this game. But at 6.5, you have to take the Chiefs with coming off a bye week. I'm the Raider fan here, and I freaking hate the words coming. What do you think,
T-Bone? Who do you like?
Man, if somebody that follows the Raiders is that much, I'll go with the Chiefs. Who am I to,
So you sound like you like the Raiders.
Well, the thing about the Chiefs, they play to the level of their freaking competition, and it drives me nuts.
And this competition beat them last time.
So, yeah, and will that piss them off? Will that bulletin board material piss them off enough to come out here and make a statement? That's what you're saying. I'll roll the dice with it under a touchdown, but probably the other way, I might take 8. So I think they win by a touchdown is what I guess I'm basically saying.
Well,
I don't know that I'll say they win by 10, but I'm comfortable under a touchdown.
A wise guy from our past used to tell me, he's like, what you should do is, bet. You take the team that you think take the team that you don't like to win, and then if your team wins, you can be happy, and then otherwise you can just get paid for it. Yeah. Hedge your bets, basically, is what I'm trying to spit out.
So you're trying to say you'd take Kansas City and be happy if Oakland won? But what if Kansas City won by 4? Then you're screwed.
Yeah, there are like intangibles here.
Yes, just trying to cover your angles here. There's not a perfect system.
Are we going on the game?
No, it doesn't sound like it.
How about back burner? Let's put it on the burner.
I don't even know who you like.
I don't know. I'd say I would go with the Chiefs. In this circumstance, I'd take the Chiefs minus 6.5. I wouldn't want to go over 7. I just feel like it feels like a touchdown game to me. So,
I love the Chiefs at 6.5. I do not love the Chiefs at 8.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
that's what I feel the same.
The sheet is 6.5, so we may revisit it.
All right. Then I'm going to put it on the burner. Good. So KC minus 6.5. First
that was
game.
9 minutes of the show.
Jiminy
we got past the
Christ.
first game.
I know, right? All right.
Fast break offense.
Monday night, Los Angeles Rams at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay minus 4. Totals 47.5. The Rams are 6-3 straight up, 5-4 against the spread. Winners over Seattle, 23-16, where they look like the more physical team on both sides of the ball, in my opinion. Looking at their schedule, that was probably the best win for the Rams. They also have wins over Chicago, Washington, the Giants, Philadelphia, and Dallas.
They own the NFC East.
Not exactly title contenders. The defense is legit, ranking in the top 5 in total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, and points scored. By the way, though, the Rams did lose their left tackle this weekend, and that's a problem.
Ooh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, Tampa Bay 7-3 straight up, 5-5 against the spread. Winners at Carolina, 46-23. That game was closer than it appears. It was actually 17-17 at half. Teddy goes down the second, and it was over. It was probably over before then, but you knew that the life went out of Carolina at that point.
They ran all over them, actually. That was crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, good segue. Ronald Jones continues to impress. He had 192 yards and a touchdown.
Was it a 98-yard scamper at one point?
Yes, it was.
I think the longest this season.
But, Brady looked good as well. He had 341 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 28 for 39. They got Godwin, Evans, and now Antonio Brown at wide receiver. This Tampa Bay team could make a decent playoff run. T-Bone Monday night, the Rams at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay -4. Who you like?
The problem with Tampa Bay is you don't know what team you're getting. I mean, they just got curb stomped the week before last. I mean, who do you get with this team? Are you getting the 45-year-old Tom Brady that looks like he's got a noodle arm that's broke down? Or you get? I mean, are you think you're going to get 200 yards rushing against the Rams? Because that ain't happening.
That ain't happening.
That ain't happening. The Rams are ferocious. Donald could be in Brady's face. What's his name?
Then you got Ramsey.
Yeah, you got Ramsey locking down their best receiver is going to get locked down. I mean, that guy's phenomenal.
I don't know.
And I kind of like the Rams plus 4 points. I think the Rams can beat them straight up. And I'm getting 4. I'm getting over a field goal.
This is one of those, if a dog can win.
Yes.
And would you be surprised if the Rams won the game?
Well, we were talking about, studying and looking around like whatever, and most of the compelling arguments, I would be on the Rams as well. And this is a weird stat for the fact of they were making, you said Brady referencing being 45. They're like, he really, because I think he said before during the week he goes to bed at 8:30. They're like, in these primetime games, he's normally asleep because he always plays terrible in these primetime games.
I forgot about that.
It's a real thing when you look up the numbers.
I mean, the Rams they're tough. They could have beat Buffalo. Miami beat them just because they got up on them on defense, but they're rugged, man.
So like you said, they got curb stomped before they beat Carolina, 38-3.
And like you said, that game it was close until Bridgewater goes down.
Right.
I mean,
before that, they beat the
punches.
Giants by 2. Right. Before that, they crushed Vegas. Before that, they crushed Green Bay. Before that, they lost to Chicago.
Yeah,
so
it's wow. That's
but they are up and down.
Yeah.
I would be on the Rams here. I mean,
with the 4, I mean, because we're getting more than a field goal.
Yeah.
How about let's put it on the burner?
Right.
Look at y'all. Y'all be still my heart. I didn't even really like. I don't
You
know.
feel like there had to be like much arm twisting there.
No,
right?
there was very little coercion. All right. So, who you like? That was Sunday night and Monday night. Anybody got something they want to kick off the show with?
I can begin.
All right.
Because I know if I don't take it, he will.
Tell me who it is.
What do you guys think about? Where is it on the sheet? I'm just trying to see the number. Give me 1 second here. I can't see. I'm blind, T. I can't see. All right, the Dolphins at Denver.
That's the game you pick, really? Miami at Denver. Denver plus 3.5. The total's 45. Interesting. The line opened up as Denver at a favorite -1. It's now up to Miami plus 3.5. Before you start, Chalk, excuse me, I know this is your game. You talked to me a couple of weeks ago. You asked, how do these lines come up? When could I have gotten Miami +1? So I've been watching these lines. The lines for the following week come out a Sunday night, usually around 6 or 7 o'clock.
You're right.
And if you can get that line, then you can get this Miami +1. But it's hard for us really to get that line.
Yeah.
There's forecasted lines all the way through the season.
Jeez.
It's just
right.
It depends on.
And it's within because I remember this took place a couple weeks ago because New England beat Baltimore, right? So the line immediately flipped on. I think it's the Houston game right here. It went from last Sunday night. It was Houston -2.5, and then New England goes and beats Baltimore on Monday night, and now they're already at +2.
But Yeah, I better let you go ahead and take this over because we'll probably be talking on this game for a while. It's just, it's interesting to me. I mean,
we were talking about, Tua coming on. And it's been, because we had said something before about Carr being serviceable and Tua, not making mistakes. Where my thing is just Miami's defense has just looked so good. And I think probably something to flip this deal is I don't think Drew Lock's going to play. I think it's going to be ripping.
Yeah. So that's obviously got to be why all the money's flowing in like this. Well, the fact that Miami's coming on, Las Vegas just curb stomped Denver. I mean, they embarrassed them.
Well, I've got quotes pulled up on the computer where they were sitting there talking about that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's just, I can see why the line is wet like it has. It just, it's a lot of points, but you factor all that in, I can see it.
Locke is questionable right now.
I think I saw just something. I think I just go on the fact of I don't think he practiced again today. You said we're talking about the other. I'm talking about when the Dolphins played the Chargers last week. They were talking about they were throwing all these different schemes, these defensive things. They were very confused about. Your boy, who's the defensive coordinator at Miami?
His name's Boyer.
Whatever. He is getting the most out of those. He's got some good players, but he is getting the most out of them.
Yeah, he's got some. They got lockdown cornerbacks. They got probably the best set of cornerbacks in the NFL. And their secondary are ball hawks.
And the running back that just scored this past week for Miami.
Ahmad,
yeah,
new guy, yeah. Their running backs suck. They're nothing. He did good. He got almost 100 yards, but
I was looking for the piece. I was looking for it on the paper, and I didn't realize it was over 3.5. That's a little, but I still like the Dolphins. I just think the Dolphins are just an overall better team.
Well, I'm glad you said that though, because that hook really bothers me.
It bothers me.
Yeah, I didn't I couldn't find it on the sheet as I was bumbling around.
Miami has they're going in different directions. Miami has been kind of blowing teams out, and Denver is just falling apart. They're missing too many key players.
Well, turnovers have killed them every single time I watch them. Locke just keeps throwing the ball to the other team.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he's not
Miami's
playing.
Got ball hawks, man.
Jerry Judy's a little banged up,
and they got defensive end rotation that does just enough to get pressure. They're.
Well, here's my only issue with the pick. Okay, here's my only issue with the pick. This would be a key buy low, sell high position because Denver is as low as you can get, and Miami is as high as you can get, which is why I feel like we have to give up that hook. So, honestly, the hook scares me.
I was waiting for you to say the value's gone because if we'd have got the Fins +1.
Well, yeah, but that's not an option for us here because I'll be honest with you, I've been looking at this for 2.5 days now, and I've never seen Miami less than -3.5.
Yeah.
When I seen it, it was at 3.5 because I would have taken it at 3. At 3.5, it's just sitting there. Yeah. So, do you want me to put it on the burner?
Put it on the burner. That way, both our teams are on the burner.
Man, we got to come up with something here.
Miami -3.
Get a little bit of time in.
All right, here
T-Bone.
we go. New England at Houston.
New England at Houston. Houston +1.5. Totals 49. New England comes off, again, that impressive victory over Baltimore. I turned it on the very last second. It was a pouring down rain.
A deluge.
Yeah. Did Houston lose at Cleveland this past weekend? Was that this past weekend's game where your boy ran out of bounds? Nick Chubb ran out of bounds to seal the victory in the last second. That was amazing.
You could hear the moan from the fantasy world.
Yeah, depending on what side you were on, that was amazing. Houston +1.5. T-Bone, who you like?
I love New England in this game. I do. I think they're going to go in there, cram the ball down their throat, play tough defense, and frustrate Houston and win the game. I think they'll run all over them.
Well, because Houston, I think, is the worst against the run in the league.
Yeah, Houston is broken, man. You go in and you got Watson. You scored, 6 points last week? Really? And you're going against a better defense this week? And Bill Belichick, who's probably the greatest defensive coordinator of all time? Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Well, and they always talk about Belichick tries to take away the biggest weapon. Who's the biggest weapon on Houston?
Well, you got to take Fuller away from
Fuller around
Watson.
for the deep ball. They'll get underneath things to Cooks.
They got Gilmore. And, Cooks and the other guy, they're not scaring nobody. So, yeah.
I think that was Damian Harris or something. He could get 125, 100. I think they're just going to pound the ball.
You got Newton pounding it too. I just think they take.
Somebody who they just haven't used at all is James White.
They'll be a 500 team if they win this week, I believe. I think they're 4-5. They'll be 5-5.
Correct.
Yeah. So they're not as terrible. You're never going to be terrible with Belichick as your coach. You're going to be solid.
Chalkboard?
My thing is like, well, I kind of actually like doing, but I can tell that side of the table is not as upbeat. I don't know if it's just the fact of I know you got
How
like.
could you be upbeat about a team whose only wins are over Jacksonville? Quite possibly the worst franchise in the NFL. That's the only wins that Houston has. The only wins. Oh, that's horrible.
But New England, I just can't see them running off 3 wins in a row. They're just not that good a team. They're just not that good a football
Apparently
team.
they are. They're almost 500. You think Belichick's not going to give them to 500 if he can? He'll outcoach circles around freaking Romeo Crennel.
Yeah, there is another stat too about Belichick versus his former assistants.
Yeah, he'll eat that guy for lunch.
So, I mean,
I think that falls in that great movie line of like, Romeo, I taught you everything you know, but I did everything I know.
Yeah.
Chalkboard, are you prepared to?
I could make it a pick, just,
All right.
much to your
T-Bone.
dismay.
Nah, I'm good, dog. I'm good. T-Bone, official House Money podcast play number 1.
The Pats.
New England minus 1.5. I think that's a very gratuitous line. Because I'm certain if I flip over here to Bovada, it's going to be 2. Chalkboard.
All right, we'll just kind of keep the good times rolling. What do you think about the Packers at the Colts?
Green Bay at the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis minus 1.5. Total is 51. This opened at Indianapolis plus 2.5. And curiously, it's moved 4 points the other way. Chalkboard, who you like?
Well, I did see today that, which he's missed a few games, Devontae, but they said he's questionable to play. He didn't even. He had jacked up his ankle, I guess they said.
God, that would be huge.
The Colts are just back to like their uniforms. They're very vanilla. You don't really feel much for them, but they have a good run defense and they have a great pass defense. Normally you'd say, well, man, we never get Aaron Rodgers in points, but I feel like the Colts are going to win this game.
I never really thought about it until you just said that, but the Colts defense ranks first in total yards,
Yes.
second in passing yards, third in rushing yards, and fourth in points scored.
I think there was so much made for how bad Rivers looked that people weren't looking at the other side of the ball. But, I mean, the Colts, what are the Colts' wins? I mean, and when they win, they win fairly convincingly.
So they got a 17-point win over Tennessee. They lost by Baltimore by 2 touchdowns, 20 over Detroit, 4 over Cincinnati, lost to Cleveland, 8 over Chicago, 30 over the Jets, 17 over Minnesota.
I feel like that sometimes, like somebody like Rodgers, who is so great, Hall of Famer, first ballot, it's like when he gets frustrated, he'll try to force the ball, and I think they know that. I think they're going to hawk a little bit. I don't know. I like the Colts. It's a gut feeling.
I'll be honest with you. I just like to see that you're betting on a defense, and you're just not going all offense. T-Bone, who you like in this game?
I like Green Bay. And I don't even have to think about it. I don't even I like Green Bay.
Well, how about you tell us why?
Now, the only way Green Bay's not going to win this game is Devontae Adams doesn't play. So that's going to be huge for me. But if you tell me Devontae Adams is going to be on that field, they're going to win this game. I just like Green Bay. I don't think Green Bay's great. I mean, don't get me wrong though. I mean, if the Colts get that running game going, they can hurt Green Bay for sure. If Taylor, that rookie, if he gets going. But
they don't even give him any touches anymore, dude. He only gets like 10 or 12 touches a game.
What's Aaron Jones been doing? I haven't even seen what he's been, if he's gotten back or what he's been doing.
He's back. And actually, his backup is pretty decent too. Was it Jamal Williams or something?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good 1-2 punch. like I say, looking around and stuff, I just didn't realize how good the Colts defense was playing at home.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I like to hear y'all on both sides, though, to be honest with you. It's good that you don't always agree.
I actually love Green Bay, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if love's a strong kind of word. But
Throw out a game, T-Bone. Who else you got out there?
Oh, man. Atlanta at New Orleans.
Oh, I just happen to have a whole paragraph written about that game.
I bet you won't say it in a certain dialect.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pitch it, or do you want to?
Go ahead.
I have a feeling we may be on the same side. Who knows? Atlanta 3-6 straight up, 4-5 against the spread, healthy and rested off their bye. Before that, winners of 3 of their last 4. since the firing of their coach in Week 5. You know, those wins include Denver, Carolina, and Minnesota, and a 1-point loss to Detroit. That they should have honestly won that game as well. The defense is not great, but the offense has 3 different categories ranked in the top 5. Honestly, though, this is less a play on Atlanta and more a play against New Orleans.
Yes.
Because New Orleans is 7-2 straight up, 4-5 against the spread. They beat San Francisco 27-13 in a game, honestly, that San Francisco melted down in every way. Because I had them plus 10 last week, and it took 2 special team fumbles. They gave up 2 short field touchdowns, 2 interceptions from Mullins. I mean, they just did everything they could do wrong. But the main ingredient to this soup is Drew Brees is out until December. And that leaves Jameis Winston or Hill, and neither of those dudes are the answer, dude.
Right.
And when Winston was in that game, he couldn't or he didn't throw the ball farther than 10 yards down the field. And you know they have no confidence in this clown.
You know, one of his biggest things where he would like lick his fingers and do that W? They said, don't you know it's like 2020 with COVID, you should be licking your fingers? Also, on the way over here, there was something I saw right as I was walking out the door coming to the studio. Kamara's questionable.
Speaking of which, so...
no Kamara or Breeze?
You know, the running game continued. Kamara had 8 carries last week for 15 yards.
He's just so potent in the passing game.
Oh,
though.
for sure, for sure. You know, again, we talk about that every week, those swing passes to Kamara, right? You know, I don't know how they do it here. They may win this game because, again, Atlanta is Atlanta, right? But I honestly, I like the Falcons to cover, and I like them on the money line. Again, another dog that can win this game.
Thanks. Yeah, I actually think the Falcons can actually win this game. So
Win this game.
Yeah, I love
I
this
was
as
waiting
a
for you
pick.
to say ditto.
I love this as a pick.
Well, let me tell you this, because I follow these lines in case I never told you that before. I got the Falcons earlier this week at +5. Unfortunately, you fellas have to take them at +4. Are you good with that?
I think they can win straight up. So if somehow New Orleans gets lucky and beats them, it'd be by a field goal. Right. So, yeah.
T-Bone, official Housemate Podcast, play number 2.
The Dirty Birds.
Atlanta plus the 4. All right. Chalkboard, throw something out.
What about Dallas at Minnesota?
Dallas at Minnesota, Minnesota -7. It opened at 9.5, bet down to 7. Totals 46.5. Chalkboard, who do you like?
Is there any way I can get Minnesota -6.5?
No, sir.
I mean, I know you. All right, so the Red Rifle's back. They say he's out of the concussion protocol. So the offense looks a little better. But, I mean, Minnesota has just looked like a totally different team here lately. They're playing at home. I mean, they're not going to be able to stop Cook.
I love Minnesota.
You don't think that 31st against the run defense is going to be able to stop Cook?
I mean, I've been thinking about it. No. Purple People Eaters? Is that all we want to say?
Yeah, sounds good.
We're 30 minutes into the show.
Chalkboard, official Housemate Podcast, play number 3.
The Vikings. Again, I was trying to slow play y'all with Andy's back. Are you kind of
No. Minnesota -7. So on that note, so we have 3 plays. What else is out there y'all want to talk
I
about?
think we got enough on the burner we can talk about.
I agree, but glancing at the clock, we have a few minutes. If there's any other games y'all would like to mention.
Something you got an eye on, E?
Oh, just real quick. Pittsburgh at Jacksonville. Jacksonville +10.5. I only bring this up because we know Tomlin is terrible on the road as a double-digit favorite, and now they're in Florida.
Oh, God. They did just cover last week, though. What was that? Who'd they play?
At home against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Dude.
The only thing with this is, like, Jacksonville has got them before, and that's something I read that they were talking about. So it's like they're going to take them more serious than that you would think they would. But, I mean, you ain't got to convince – I don't know. I mean,
I ain't got to convince you to take the 10.5.
I don't know about that one.
Okay.
I feel like there's probably something we like on the burner more so.
Yes.
Now, maybe if you teased it up to like 17.5.
Stop it. All right. Philadelphia at Cleveland. Cleveland -3.
Is there ever going to be a game played in Cleveland with nice weather? I'm just curious.
No.
I mean, it's
Never.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
But y'all are on Philadelphia here, right? What has Cleveland done?
I actually like Philadelphia. Yeah,
of course.
I'd take Philadelphia in the points.
I did just find it. I don't even know what the number was.
I thought it was 4. Well, it was 2, I guess. 3.
It's at 3.
Yeah.
The funny thing, again, it was at 3.5 all week, and it just dropped to 3 a couple hours ago.
Yeah, that sucks.
I was looking because they had a 4. Yeah, it's just
I think
it's still supposed to be
Philadelphia can beat
raining.
them.
I agree. Another dog that can win outright.
Well, Philadelphia is getting healthier, finally.
You know, this might be a weekend for a round robin bet. 5 dogs.
I was just thinking that. I was like, where's the favorites at?
I don't know. All right, so let's revisit the burner here. We got Kansas City minus 6.5, the Los Angeles Rams plus 4, and Miami minus 3.5.
Ooh, that's 3 good ones there. Ooh, it's 3 good ones.
Which one speaks to you? Which one of them speaks to you in like a pseudo French language?
Well, I think you all like Kansas City, right?
I love Kansas City.
Right. I can go with Kansas City.
Okay, I would rather kick off Miami. Let's not give up that hook on Miami. Let's not do that.
Okay.
All right, so let's throw out Miami.
Okay.
All right, so now we're at Kansas City minus 6.5 and the Rams plus 4. I'll be honest with you, I feel like the money and the public and everything I heard this week has been on Tampa Bay. So the fact that we would be taking the Rams plus 4 honestly would make me feel pretty good.
I know you both like the Chiefs, and like I said, I could be happy either way. The Chiefs cover, it's good for the show. The Raiders,
do you want to get?
I'll just buy a new
you want to
shirt.
go with the Rams?
I don't care.
No,
dude.
I think you lean toward the Chiefs.
Okay. You want the Chiefs?
Because he was saying the public was on
Yeah, I don't care.
Tampa
Dude,
Bay.
I really like Kansas City this
Do
week.
it. Do it.
Chalkboard, official House Money
And you're
podcast,
gonna make me say it too.
play number 4.
The Chiefs. The team that's playing the Raiders. Silver and Black Nation, baby.
Kansas City minus the 6.5, and that line's a gift.
Oh boy, that had enough hurt.
I died a little
I should have took
inside.
that one from you, man. My bad. That's like committing suicide. That's horrible. You had to say
Harry
it like
Carey.
All right, to
that.
recap,
My bad.
official House Money podcast, play number 1, New England minus the 1.5. Play number 2, Atlanta plus 4. Play number 3, Minnesota minus 7. Play number 4, Kansas City minus the 6.5. I like those picks, fellas. Crystal ball predictions last week. J.D. McKessick, running back Washington. How'd he do, Chalk?
The fact that you stumbled on the name even makes it sweeter as he scored a touchdown. The crystal ball 2 weeks in a row. Double ding.
Wow, somebody's hot over there.
Nice job.
Hold on, we'll light that grill in a minute. So, yes. And actually, the crazy thing about that is he had 15 targets in the passing game. That's where I thought he would be heavily involved. 7 or 8 catches. His touchdown was a rushing touchdown. Completely uncharacteristic, but we'll take it.
Nice job, J.D. Mm-hmm. Did he shout you out before the game like they normally do?
I think because of like some of the COVID restrictions, he did, but he had a mask on. So
I get it.
only I could hear it.
I understand. All right. So who you got this week?
I normally, I like to normally kind of dig for like people that, you have to look up their names and all that kind of stuff. This is going to be a really sound insulting, but it fits the premise because this guy has not scored a touchdown all year long, and he's not getting a touchdown from his starting quarterback. So finally, I don't know if you heard of this guy, Michael Thomas of the Saints will get a touchdown against the porous, horrific Atlanta defense playing in New Orleans. He's played 3 games, so he's due. Week 1 and then these past 2 weeks. So I think they're going to force him the ball as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, if we think the Falcons can get up on them early, then
We
they'll
all
have to throw the ball.
dabbled some fantasy, know some people. And I know he was the number 1 pick in every league, wide receiver wise. If you would have said in week 11 he's looking for his first touchdown, that's insane.
Good question. Arizona.
Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas, got him right here, wide receiver, New Orleans touchdown. For those of you keeping track at home, Arizona just scored, even in the game, 7-7. Kenyon Drake, 2-yard touchdown run. T-Bone, choice cut.
Oh, I'm going the opposite direction of the crystal ball. I'm man. Oh, wheels are coming off, man.
Yeah, do we want to talk about last week, Seattle plus 2? You're now 4-6 on the year and 4 losses in a row.
Ooh, ooh.
Give me
Ice
some.
cold, ice cold. All right. I'm following my team. I'm going with the Fins this week. Give the 3.5 to Denver. It's 2 a time, baby.
All right.
Tua has had no turnovers, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
I was watching him throw the ball, and I realize he's left-handed, but does he have a
hitch?
A T-Rex arm?
I don't know.
Because
man.
it looks
he
like...
looks so small, doesn't he? Doesn't he look small? He whips it out pretty quick. He looks pretty accurate.
But it looks like it's like connected from the hip.
I want to say there's only like 2 starting quarterbacks that are left-handed. It's incredibly, yeah. I mean, there's only 32 anyway, but
Well, I mean, his stats at Alabama, he was so dominating. He was the most accurate quarterback of all time. I mean, it's
That's amazing.
But he has nothing to play with now. Wait till they go out and get weapons next year. They got like 4 of the top 60 picks, so they'll bring weapons in, and he'll be tough.
I know you just threw it out there, the score, but talking about the T-Rex arms, whatever. Again, even like last week watching that Bills game, Murray running. There's just something weird about it.
Crazy.
It's just he just doesn't look like he should be that fast.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's end this show and go watch
So
it.
we can go watch the game.
Yeah, 7-7, 9:29 left in the second. So please subscribe to us on YouTube or iTunes, SoundCloud, however you listen to the show. We're on Twitter at House Money Pod. Chalkboard.
Chalkboard can be found at Chalkboard, CHALKBORED_HM.
There you go. Facebook, Instagram, please rate and review us. As always, shout out to our executive producer, Z-Man, holding it down at House Money Podcast headquarters. Fellas, Week 11, T-Bone.
Excited. Great games. Great game tonight. I'm ready to get out of here and go watch that game.
Dude, the Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, best combination we've had so far.
Great games.
Far and away, absolutely.
Yeah. Great games on Sunday. Yeah, it's pretty good matchups this week.
I hope our listeners can enjoy those games as much as I know they do this show.
There you go. Well, on that note, we're House Money Podcast, and thank you for listening. We're out.